Hello, everyone. Welcome back to today's story. In this episode, we follow Alex and Tuna as their bond quietly deepens through days of hard work and kindness. But hidden behind their growing closeness is Mai, Alex's longtime friend, whose heart burns with jealousy. Unable to accept that Alex now cares for someone else, Mai's affection twists into bitterness. What begins as silent envy soon turns dangerous when she hires men to destroy Tuna's small corn stall at the market. As Alex rushes to protect Tuna, old friendships shatter and painful truths surface. Stay with us until the end to see how love and forgiveness rise above jealousy. And don't forget to subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. Your support truly means the world to us. The rain fell in soft sheets, the kind that whispered rather than roared, blurring the outlines of the cornfield. Mai stood beneath an old tamarind tree at the edge of the market road, her umbrella tilted but forgotten as her eyes locked on the scene ahead. Alex bent over, smiling gently as he helped Tuna lift a heavy sack of corn onto her wooden cart. The woman's voice was soft. "Thank you, Alex," and her smile genuine, the kind that carried warmth even on the dampest day. Mai's breath caught in her throat. It was a small thing, a gesture of kindness, yet it burned her from the inside out. "He's never smiled at me like that." Her fingers tightened around the umbrella handle until her knuckles turned white. For years, she had stood beside Alex, through school, through hardship, through the quiet days when dreams still felt reachable. She knew his ambitions, his favorite songs, even the way he wrinkled his brow when deep in thought. She thought she knew his heart. But that heart, it seemed, now beat for someone else. Tuna wasn't even from their world. A single mother selling corn by the roadside, wearing clothes faded from sun and labor, hair tied back carelessly, yet somehow she shone. There was something unpretentious about her, something that drew Alex in. Mai's chest tightened as she watched Alex crouch beside Henry, the little boy with bright eyes who clung to his mother's skirt. Alex ruffled the child's hair, laughing softly. His voice carried faintly through the drizzle. "You're strong, just like your mom. Strong, like her mom." Those words echoed in Mai's mind like a taunt. She turned away, biting her lip hard enough to taste blood. The jealousy that had started as a spark now fanned into flame. She whispered under her breath, "No, he can't possibly love her." Mai pulled out her phone, scrolling through contacts until she found a familiar name. Her voice was calm, almost too calm when the line connected. "Hey Lynn, I need a favor," she said. "Find out everything you can about that woman at the corn stall, the one named Tuna. Who she is, where she lives, everything." "Why?" Lynn's voice came crackling through the static. Mai stared at the rain-soaked figure of Tuna in the distance, smiling as she handed a customer a small bag of corn. "Because she's not as innocent as she looks," Mai lied, her tone icy. "I just want to protect Alex." When the call ended, Mai lowered her phone slowly, her heart pounding. Protect Alex, that's what she told herself. But deep down, she knew it wasn't about protection. It was about possession. That evening, the market quieted down as the last customers left. Tuna stacked her baskets neatly under the awning, brushing rain from her sleeves. The air smelled of wet earth and boiled corn, comforting and familiar. Alex arrived just as she was closing. "You're still here?" he asked, stepping out from under his umbrella, his hair damp with drizzle. Tuna smiled, her voice soft but tired. "Had to sell the last few. The rain slowed things down." He chuckled, helping her move the baskets onto her cart. "You shouldn't stay this late. You'll catch a cold." She laughed lightly. "You sound like an old man." Alex grinned. "Maybe I am one." They both laughed, an easy, gentle sound that drifted through the empty marketplace. Henry clapped his tiny hands, delighted by their voices. Mai stood across the street, hidden behind a fruit stand. Her umbrella shielded her from the rain, but not from the sting of their laughter. She watched as Alex carefully draped his jacket over Tuna's shoulders, his touch casual, protective. That single act pierced her heart like a knife. In the days that followed, Mai's obsession deepened. She couldn't stop thinking about them, about the way Tuna's eyes softened when Alex spoke, about the way he seemed lighter around her. Each new memory became a wound that refused to heal. She spent her nights scrolling through Tuna's social media, her days lingering near the market, pretending to shop while her gaze followed every movement. She learned that Tuna had no family nearby, that she rented a small hut by the orchard, and that every morning she carried her corn to the market before sunrise. By the end of the week, Mai's jealousy had transformed into something darker, something sharp-edged and deliberate. Late one night, she met with two men behind a coffee shop on the outskirts of town. One of them, tall and rugged, flicked a cigarette into the mud. "You said it's just a small scare?" he asked. Mai nodded, her eyes cold. "Yes, I want her shaken up. Break her stall, ruin her goods, whatever it takes to keep her away from the market for a while. But no one touches the kid." The man smirked. "Got it. You're the boss." As they walked away, Mai's heart pounded, not from fear, but from the thrill of control. She told herself it was for Alex's sake, that once Tuna was gone, everything would return to how it used to be. But deep down, she knew this wasn't about love anymore. It was about revenge against the woman who made her feel small. The next morning dawned gray and heavy. Tuna arrived early as always, her cart piled high with fresh corn, steam rising from the boiled batch she'd prepared before dawn. She greeted the vendors warmly, setting up her stall near the old banyan tree. But something felt off. A group of men loitered nearby, pretending to chat, but glancing her way too often. Tuna ignored them at first, thinking they were just customers waiting for her to open. But as she began arranging her baskets, one of the men accidentally bumped into her cart, knocking several ears of corn to the muddy ground. "Hey!" Tuna cried out, startled. "Sorry," he said with a smirk. "Didn't see you there." Before she could respond, another man stepped forward, kicking over her basket. Corn scattered across the wet ground. Tuna's eyes widened. "What are you doing? Stop." They laughed. One grabbed the tarp, tearing it down. Another kicked at the wooden frame of her stall, splitting the bamboo supports. Within seconds, chaos erupted, her small world unraveling before her eyes. Tuna tried to fight back, shouting for help, but the men pushed her down, her knees scraping against the pavement. One of them snorted. "Maybe this will teach you not to come here anymore." The surrounding vendors froze, unsure whether to intervene. It wasn't until a loud voice thundered through the air that they stopped. "Hey, what's going on here?" It was Alex. He ran toward them, fury flashing in his eyes. The men hesitated, exchanging glances before darting off into the rain. Tuna sat on the ground, trembling, her stall in ruins. Alex knelt beside her, his voice softening. "Are you okay?" Tuna nodded weakly, tears mixing with the rain on her cheeks. They broke everything." Alex looked around at the wreckage, the overturned baskets, the trampled corn, and his jaw clenched. "Don't worry," he said, his voice steady. "We'll fix it. I promise." Tuna stood silently in front of the mess, holding Henry close to her chest. The boy whimpered softly, his small hands clutching her shirt. She tried to stay strong, but her heart ached. She had built that stall with her own hands. Every pole, every rope, every basket had been saved for, scraped together over months of hard work. And in one cruel moment, it was all destroyed. Alex arrived soon after, his clothes damp from running through the rain. Without saying a word, he began picking up the broken bamboo pieces, stacking them to the side. "Alex," she murmured, her voice trembling. "You don't have to." "I want to," he interrupted gently. "You shouldn't face this alone." Tuna bit her lip, her throat tightening. She wanted to cry, to scream, but seeing him there, covered in rain and mud, fixing what wasn't his responsibility, made something inside her steady. Together, they worked in silence. Alex replaced the supports, while Tuna gathered the fallen corn, brushing off dirt as best she could. Henry watched them, blinking curiously at the rain that splattered his tiny hands. When they finally paused, Alex sat beside her under the half-collapsed awning. "Someone did this on purpose," he said quietly. "You know that, right?" Tuna's hands froze. "I thought maybe it was just bad luck." Alex shook his head. "No, they were targeting you. I could see it in their faces." Tuna lowered her gaze, uneasy. "But why? I've never hurt anyone." He hesitated, his jaw tightening. "That's what I'm going to find out." Across town, Mai sat in her car, watching the rain roll down her windshield. Her phone buzzed. "It's done," the man from before said. "We trashed the place like you asked." Mai's heart should have felt triumphant. She had imagined Tuna's tears, imagined Alex finally realizing that the woman wasn't worth all his attention. But now that it was real, a strange hollowness filled her chest. "Did anyone get hurt?" she asked, her voice quieter than she intended. "Nah, we scared her good though. Won't be showing up there anytime soon." She hung up, staring out into the darkness. The reflection in the glass showed a woman she barely recognized, eyes sharp, lips trembling, heart heavy with something that wasn't victory. But before she could dwell on it, another thought crept in. If Alex comforted her, all this would mean nothing. Her nails dug into her palm. "No," she whispered. "He has to see she's trouble, that she brings chaos wherever she goes." The next morning, Tuna returned to the market early, determined to clean up what she could. Despite the bruises on her arms and the exhaustion in her body, she refused to give up. She tied a new tarp, hammered bamboo poles together, and boiled a small batch of corn. By the time Alex arrived, the steam was already rising from her pot. He stared at her, half in disbelief. "You rebuilt it? Overnight?" Tuna smiled faintly. "Not perfect, but it'll do. Henry still needs milk. I can't stop just because some people don't like me here." Alex felt a lump in his throat. There was something unshakable about her, a quiet strength he admired deeply. "You're incredible. You know that?" Tuna laughed softly, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "I'm just stubborn." He smiled back, but his eyes stayed sharp, scanning the crowd. He could feel it. Someone was watching them. And indeed, someone was. Mai stood near a flower vendor, pretending to examine orchids. She wore sunglasses, a scarf covering half her face. When she saw Tuna's stall back in business, her chest burned. How could she still smile? How could she still stand there after everything? Lynn's voice startled her from behind. "You really went through with it?" Mai turned sharply. "What are you doing here?" Lynn folded her arms. "I came to see how far you'd go for this guy. But Mai, this isn't love anymore. It's obsession." Mai's lips curled into a brittle smile. "You don't understand. Alex and I, we were supposed to be something. She stole that from me." "She didn't steal anything," Lynn said. "You just never had it." The words hit like a slap. Mai's face hardened, her voice dropping to a cold whisper. "Then maybe it's time she learns what happens when you take what doesn't belong to you." Days later, a rumor began spreading through the marketplace that Tuna's corn was spoiled, that her products had made someone sick. At first, she dismissed it as gossip, but when customers stopped coming, she knew something was wrong. She sat behind her stall, hands trembling as she counted the untouched corn. "Who would say something like that?" she whispered. Alex was furious when he heard. "I'll handle it," he said, his voice tight with anger. "You just focus on your work." But even as he stormed off, Tuna's mind raced. Every time she looked up, she caught glimpses of Mai nearby, smiling politely at other vendors, chatting as if she belonged there. Tuna tried to ignore it, yet unease settled deep in her chest. That evening, when Alex returned, he looked grim. "It wasn't a coincidence," he said. "Someone's been spreading those rumors on purpose. Paid some vendors to talk." Tuna's eyes widened. "Who would do that?" He hesitated. He didn't want to say it, but part of him already knew. Mai. Tuna's lips parted, disbelief flashing across her face. "Mai? But she's your friend." "She was," Alex muttered, his tone dark. "I'll talk to her." The next morning, he found Mai near the orchard, plucking petals from a fallen flower. She turned when she heard his footsteps, her expression lighting up. "Alex, I was just—" "Stop pretending," he cut in sharply. "You were behind what happened at the market, weren't you?" Her smile faltered. "I don't know what you mean." He stepped closer, his voice low but fierce. "I saw the men you hired. I talked to them. You paid them to hurt her." Mai froze, her eyes darting nervously. "I didn't mean for it to go that far. I just—" "You just what?" Alex demanded. "You thought destroying her would make me come back to you?" Tears welled in her eyes, but her voice rose in defiance. "I love you, Alex. I always have. I watched you fall for someone beneath you, someone who doesn't deserve you. Everything you built, Everything you dreamed of, you're throwing it away for her. Alex's jaw tightened. You think love is about control? About ruining someone else's life? Mai's voice broke. I did it for us. There is no us, he said quietly. Not anymore. She stared at him, her face pale, as if the rain had washed away all her defenses. Then, without another word, she turned and walked away, her heels sinking into the muddy ground.